let's talk about some more dissociative disorders. Um, of course, we've already covered dissociative identity disorder, but let me just reiterate that dissociative disorders are mental illnesses that involve disruptions or breakdowns of memory, conscious awareness, identity, or other perceptions. When one or more of these functions is disrupted, symptoms can result. Sometimes we can have amnesia in a very sudden way after an event or an accident. So, when we're thinking about dissociative amnesia, you want to think of the primary symptom is the sudden inability to remember past experiences or personal information. A person who can't remember these things, they may have anxiety or depression. It is more common for men than women. It rarely appears during adolescence, mostly occurs during adulthood, but rare after 50. But once they appear, dissociative disorders may continue into old age with dissociative amnesia. One of my favorite movies is 50 First Dates. It's such a great movie. And of course, I want you to understand that when we have dissociative amnesia, there's a lot of things that don't go away, that are unconscious actions. Because obviously, Drew Barrymore, when she was in the movie, she knew to get up every morning, put her clothes on, brush her teeth, things that, are unconscious, and implicit actions, and they actually go through another part of your brain. But these dissociative amnesia, and of course it can be a result of, for her in the movie, it was a car accident. It could be a traumatic event. Sometimes you can remember things, sometimes you can't, ever in your entire life. So here's 3 categories that are will signify specific dissociative amnesia types. One is called localized. It's specific. That means a certain event will come back a few days later. Sometimes you'll have an accident and you're kind of in shock and you don't remember, and your body is like taking care of you. But then when the crisis is over, it's almost like you're gone into your sympathetic nervous system and your parent. It's kind of that same philosophy. When you can handle it, the memory will come back. Then you have generalized amnesia. Generalized, the official would be generalized dissociative amnesia. Dissociative amnesia, specify or generalized. You don't remember anything. And that's that video that you'll watch in this episode where this gentleman in Seattle, he doesn't remember anything. It may last a person's entire life, but let me just say, very, very rare. And as the doctor in the video says, I don't know if I've ever come across this type of case in my entire career as a doctor. And then you have selective, this is what I said my kids have. Oh, you have selective amnesia, Oh, clean your room? Oh, no, I'm not going to remember to do that. So you can only recall certain details of an event. Perhaps you were in a car accident and you remembered right up to the point, then you forgot. So you may lose bits that are too difficult for you to remember. So those are 3 types of dissociative amnesia. One of the most interesting subsets of dissociative amnesia is dissociative fugue, and the word fugue means flight. People with dissociative fugue temporarily lose their sense of personal identity and impulsively wander or travel away from their homes or places of work. Now, this is really a key criteria is wander. So a few years ago, there was a gentleman who was at a football game and he got up and he left to go get a beer. And it was on the news because he never came back. Sometimes life can be very traumatic, and so you just can't handle it at all. Maybe it's become like the perfect storm, and it's the straw that broke the camel's back, and you just drop everything, your phone, your keys, everything, and you just wander off. And this person, they might be confused to who they are. They might create new identities. They might appear perfectly normal. This again is a rare disorder. It's not common for people to wander off, but the incidence of it can increase during stressful times such as war and natural disasters. And here's another important aspect of it. Fugue states can end abruptly, and the person recalls most, if not all, that's occurred. Their mind just needs a break in a way. A fugue in process is difficult to recognize because the outward appearance of this person seems normal. This is what they might have. These are the following symptoms. They might have sudden, unplanned travel, the inability to recall past events or important information, confusion about their identity, assuming perhaps a new one, or extreme distress, problems with daily functions. So you could have everything building up. Someone died, then you lost your job, and then you were in a hurricane, and it all just becomes too much for you. So you literally just wander off. You just can't handle it. It might come back in 3 hours. It might be a few months. But all of a sudden it's like a click, and you're back to the person you were. So there's a couple that are very important. And next I'm going to do a little video on depersonalization and derealization.